Oh, where's my glasses? What's crack-a-lack-and scoliosis, sisters? Hi. If you guys don't know me, you should. I'm the coolest kid on the block. My name is Clara, and you are watching my YouTube channel right now. I have a little story. Approximately 3 days ago, in my local book library on the neighborhood, you know, like you trade out a book, you take a book for yourself, I found this. Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Hard Luck. It is approximately the 8th book in the series. And I was kind of inspired to do what, you might ask? Well, to read every single Diary of a Wimpy Kid book in one day. Can I do it? Probably not, but let's find out. So technically, a day is 24 hours, and it is currently 1:34 p.m. on July the 4th. Happy 4th of July. The manual will not be televised. And I am going to give myself until tomorrow at 1:35 p.m. to read all of these books. I have already read Hard Luck, so that means there's only 13 to go. So that's pretty swagger. Let's get this party started. It is currently day 1 of 1, minute 2. I have just filmed the opening sequence, and I am about to crack open Diary of a Wimpy Kid, the very first novel in cartoons, the #1 New York Times bestseller, and we are going to answer the age-old question. Is Greg really an a-hole? Is Greg really as cool as he thinks he is in his head, in his mind? I'm already going crazy, and I haven't even read any yet. We're gonna find out all these questions. We're gonna figure it out. Wish me luck. Since I have exactly one YouTube video about a book, I am officially a booktuber now, and so as my second official video, I'm going to be reading all of these books, so I hope it goes well. You know, I guess we'll find out together. Alright guys, I am 17 pages in, and I promise I won't interrupt myself a lot like this, but I already answered our first question. Is Greg an a-hole? And it says, Rowley is technically my best friend, but that is definitely subject to change. I've been avoiding Rowley since the first day of school, so I think that answers the question. He's not very kind, and I feel bad for Rowley. Check out this funny joke. Knock knock. Huh? Thermos. Excuse me? There must be some way to tickle your funny bone. Say what? That's the funniest thing I've ever seen! The first sighting of our king. Look at him go. He's such an artist. Howdy, partner. Oops, I stepped in a puddle. At least it's not an acid puddle. Ay. It is an acid puddle. Zooey mama. I'm at the end of the first book, and these bullies made Rowley eat the cheese, and Greg just let them do it. He was like, oh, I'm allergic to dairy. Greg is the worst. Greg is the worst. Look at the poor guy. He's traumatized. Okay, so I just finished the first book. It is 2:32, so that means it basically took me exactly an hour to read one, which is a lot longer than I would have liked, but at the same time, I have nothing else going on. So I'm gonna go take a walk and clear my head because you can't have too much Greg Heffley in one sitting or else your brain will rot. So I'm gonna go take a walk, clear my head, and I'll be back in a bit. Hey guys, so I'm on a walk right now. I have to talk quietly because there's a lot of people in my neighborhood that are out and about at 2:34 on a 4th of July, surprisingly. I've run out of snacks to eat. I ate an entire bar of chocolate and half a bag of salt and vinegar chips, but it's fine. That's why I'm going on a walk now to burn off all the calories. This experience so far, I mean book 1 of 14, it's been really great. I've learned a lot about myself. There's been a lot of introspection going on. So this is the book library where I found Hard Luck, and there's nothing else good in there right now, it seems. But anyways, I've taken so many books from there and I've never returned any. And I've never traded any. Don't tell anyone, okay guys? I'm a bad person, I know. And before you ask, no, I'm not doing a Dork Diaries marathon. I couldn't possibly. No. The answer is no. The answer is not. Look at the squirrel. And look. Wait. Look, there's another one. There's another one. Look at them. They're lovers. Forbidden lovers. got more snacks.
Wow, look at that extension cordage. Look at it go.
It's my setup. Now it's time for Roderick Rules, which is, I think, my favorite from what I remember. This and Dog Days were solid, but I guess we'll find out. I'm gonna do a time lapse to prove that I actually read all of it. Let's get started.
So here I am reading. You'll see a lot of these and they all look exactly the same, so I don't know why I filmed so many. But as you can see, I'm having the time of my life. Not regretting this decision at all.
Okay, I'm 14 pages in to the second book and I've already found some discrepancies. First of all, in this book, Greg was talking about how he was in pre-algebra class. But then in this one, where it's supposed to be a year later, he's apparently in pre-algebra class again. But the thing is, it's not because he's like, held back or anything, because he says the smartest kid in his grade is in the same class. So that's a little suspicious, first of all. The second discrepancy I found was that in this book, he was complaining about having to do the dishes. But in this book, it says that his mom just started making them do the dishes, even though these are a year apart. So tell me, Mr. Jeff Kinney, why are there those plot twists, huh? I mean, to be fair, he probably never expected an almost 17-year-old to be marathoning all of these books in one day, but I'm still disappointed.
Here's time-lapse 2 of many. If you see me like chewing on my fingers, that's because I was like messing with my cuticles and stuff. It's a bad habit. Here I am going to the bathroom and putting on makeup. And some of these I start like singing. It's kind of awkward because like you can't hear me, so I'm just moving my mouth. But yeah. I was getting super jittery around this point because like I had already been sitting still for so long. So I started doing my hair. My hair felt really soft, so if you see me like petting my own hair, that's why. But I've gotten really good at like doing my hair while reading books. I have like a system down. I have lots of snacks and coffee and water, so I'm good to go,
Check out my hairstyle. It looks kind of bad because I wasn't looking in the mirror when I was doing it, but it's kind of dope. I'm eating fruit snacks.
All around me are familiar faces, worn out.
Anyways, let's get back to reading.
Wow, look, another super exciting time lapse. If you think this is interesting, try sitting still and reading a bunch of Diary of a Wimpy Kids books for 24 hours.
This is pretty good so far. Honestly, Manny is he's not the best. Like, I don't think we should be lauding him for all this stuff. Like, he doesn't deserve all the praise, because you know what? He's taking away attention from Greg, and I think that's why Greg is such a bad guy, because his parents don't love him, and they don't like him, and they think that he's a waste of space, and I can relate to that. Mom, if you end up watching this video, pretend I didn't say anything there. It's just a joke. Confession time, story time, if you will. I'm at a part of the book where there's this guy that like moved away, but then he came back, and so everyone's pretending like he doesn't exist, and Greg started it. And I would be lying if I said I didn't pull that trick. Julia, if you're watching this, I'm sorry that in 6th grade I pretended like you didn't exist. It was all just a joke. You do exist. So in case you were wondering, you do exist. So sorry about that. I'm a changed person, I like to believe, so sorry about that, Julia. I blame Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Wow, look at this. We're changing direction. And then all of a sudden I started doing like a vertical plank. And then I immediately took my hair back down because I got bored of it again. And I did like half of a pigtail. And then I checked to make sure it looked good, and it didn't. So then I just gave up. And then I started doing bicycles. And I got really like uncomfortable from sitting in the same spot. So I kept like moving around.
Okay, I think Greg is onto something here, because it says here that everyone knows the moose evolved from birds just like people did. And honestly, that's some infallible logic. Why don't they teach this in biology classes? I'm so bored. Why did I do this? This was such a bad idea.
Switching up the angles. The reason I keep looking at the camera is because every now and then it like stops recording and I have to like go back and start it up, so.
Okay, discrepancy number 3, right? In the previous book, Greg was talking about going to this like secret room to go like buy a paper off of someone, or to buy like a science fair project off of someone, right? Whereas in this one, it says, I've copied off of people's papers on quizzes and stuff before, but buying a paper off of someone would be taking it to a whole nother level. That's a discrepancy. I'm so disappointed. Like, does the man even read his own books? Also, sorry for switching up the angle, but I am very bored of sitting on my butt, but I have like 10 pages left. Just kidding, I have 50 pages left. So, hit me up. Okay, also this is like 10 pages, or 2 pages later, but let me read this poem by Roger Heffley. It's called 100 Years Ago. Sometimes I sit and wonder about stuff that I don't know, like what the heck the earth was like 100 years ago. Did cavemen ride on dinosaurs? Did flowers even grow? Well, we could guess, but that was back 100 years ago. I wish they built a time machine that picked me up to go to check out what the scene was like 100 years ago. Did giant spiders rule the earth? Were deserts filled with snow? I wonder what the story was 100 years ago.
Wow.
It's pretty fire, if you ask me. Go follow Roderick on SoundCloud. He is at Loaded Diaper with the little umlauts above the O. Also, if you hear that really loud, like unja 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 sound, it's my fan. It's my biggest fan. It like shakes from the ceiling. So definitely very structurally sound, very stable.
Here I am sipping the remnants of my brother's caramel macchiato from Starbucks mixed with my own coffee.
It's time for a theory. Oh, I can't zoom in on the front. It's time for a theory. A book theory. Okay, so in this first book, this was published in 2007. It says that Halloween was on a Thursday. But it was published in 2007, right? So we can assume that it was taking place in 2007. However, in 2007, Halloween took place on a Wednesday. And you might think, well, then logically in 2008, it would take place on a Thursday. Wrong. 2008 was a leap year, so that means it took place on a Friday. Right? So I think that Greg Heffley lives in an alternate universe in which leap year does not exist. Here a snapshot that took place on Saturday, October 27th. But as we can see on this calendar, the last October 27th was on Saturday of 2007. So that means that the Heffley family lives in a universe in which constructed Gregorian calendars don't exist. I have a theory that Greg Heffley is actually a time traveler, and he is the one that invented the calendar, the Gregorian calendar. It only makes sense. It only makes sense. In the summer between book 1 and book 2, it says that Rowley goes to South America. What was he doing in South America? Obviously disrupting the Mayan calendar so that time-traveling Greg could go back and eradicate time as it is, as a social construct. So I've been reading these books for too long, and I need to take a break. But what, for so long of what? For so long of time? But time doesn't exist. Time doesn't exist. Jeff Kinney proves that. This has been a theory. A book theory. That also explains how Manny has become the mascot of 2020. Because he doesn't play by the rules. He was born, Manny, because he's 4 years old in 2008. That means that he was born in 2004. That means he is in the middle of Gen Z. He is my age. Manny is my age. He is a Gen Z kid. That's why he's a symbol of the revolution. That's why he used his brother's time-traveling abilities to go back in time and place himself at the forefront of the revolution, using the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series. Manny grew up to be Jeff Kinney, and then time travel back to when he was 4 years old, to stay 4 years old indefinitely. And then now in 2020, we celebrate him as our leader. It only makes sense. Ugh. It's 4 o'clock, like exactly. Like my watch just beeped. And I finished the second one, like just now. Like my watch just beeped. And I'm so bored. I can't do this anymore. So I'm gonna take another walk around the neighborhood. And I think I'm gonna read the next one like outdoors. I might like ride my bike and go read it somewhere. So if you see me up in a tree, stuck in a tree, you know what's up. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Alright, I got the third book, but before I start reading it, I'm gonna fill up my hot dog stand. This is the hot dog stand. It's like a little water bowl. And usually it doesn't have like the glasses and stuff like that, but we just came back from vacation. So that's why. I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm talking quietly because there's lots of people around. And I'm gonna go fill up the bowl. Alright, so that's done. It's a little hot dog stand. And apparently wasps like it too. Because where I live gets really hot in the summer. As it does in most places, except for like Australia, I guess. I don't know, man. I don't know. These are really degrading my brain levels. You know? I just dropped it. Motor skills? We don't know her. Alright, so now I'm in a tree. This is the same tree from my I got stuck in a tree video, but don't worry, I've learned how to get down from it since then. Alright, that's it. This is the last straw. Well, the problem is it's not easy for me to think of ways to improve myself because I'm already one of the best people I know. If that doesn't prove what a jerk face he is, then I don't know what does, and I'm honestly over his attitude. This lighting's actually pretty good. I think I'm gonna do a photo shoot up here. Okay, I found this pleasant little gem about 20 pages in. Mr. Shropshire by Greg Heffley. Once upon a time, there's this man named Mr. Shropshire who thought all these crazy thoughts. I don't know much, but I do know one thing. Polar bears are some useless animals. One day, Mr. Shropshire took a ride in his car. Here I go. But then, oops. And then, Mr. Shropshire, you would have drowned, but luckily Tobuck here was sitting on an iceberg, and he saved your life. And so, before, I said that polar bears are some useless animals, but now I can see that not every polar bear is so useless after all. The end. I think this particular story is like, it really resonates with me because like sometimes I meet people that are really dumb, like myself, but then I realize that one day I might turn into a polar bear and save someone's life, so maybe my life isn't so purposeless after all. Anyways, I'm gonna get back to reading. I just realized that like if Greg Heffley was allowed to curse, this would make for the funniest series ever. Because to tell you about, like, he always, like, not like almost says, but he's like, oh, this is a lot of stuff right here, you know, this is a load of baloney. And honestly, I think we should have a remake of Diary of a Wimpy Kid and make it, like, PG-13. I think that'd be great. Jeff Kinney, if you're watching this, do that, please. Do that. Then I would actually binge the whole series. I mean, I'm already doing it, but, like, you know, I would do it again. I would do it again. Just rewrite the series. Keep it exactly the same, but rewrite it with bad words. That would be ideal. That would be iconic, honestly. A national icon. A national icon. Look at him go. Strutting his stuff. Okay, I'm out of the tree now because my leg sweat started dripping down and it scared me because I kept thinking it was bugs. But I never realized, like, how much of these books, like, stayed with me throughout all this time. Like, I remember every scene, but like vaguely so that it's like almost like a dream I've had before, you know? Like I never really read them, so I don't know where it's from. But also I watched the movies as a kid, and like it's kind of made me like appreciate the movies more, because the movies were like really well made. Like whenever I hear Greg's voice, it's Greg from the movies, and like he was also an a-hole, and like so is Greg in the book. So like I don't know who the actor is, but whoever he is, he did a good job. Now what we need to do is hire the same guy like 10 years later, and have him do the live action version for the ones with the cuss words, because I think that would be really funny. It's like a good comedic callback if it's the same actor, you know, kind of like how they did with Arrested Development, but like better. Okay, now I'm at my local playground, and I'm gonna be sitting on a slide, and it's only a matter of time before someone comes to play on the slide, and I like pop up and I'm like, hey, I'm reading a book here, and they'll be like, what? So I'll try to photograph when that happens. Bye. Oh, dang, I look really good in this lighting. Look at my eyes. Okay, I'm doing a photo shoot here. Okay, so it says here that everyone in the future is going to have a personal robot, and honestly, it's a joke, but it's true. Her name is Alexa. She's my best friend. Some kid's mom kicked me off the playground because she wanted her little kids to play on the little kid playground, and it's not for big kids. Well, you know what? I'm a big kid and I'm on the playground, so deal with it. But I didn't say that because I'm non-confrontational, so I just went back to my house. So I'm here now. I'm on page 65 of book 3, so it's pretty good so far. It's not as fun as the other one. It's not as fresh. You can tell Mr. Kenny, whatever his name is, Mr. Kinney, was kind of running out of ideas, but I'm hoping that that'll change. Catherine, check. Look at her devil stare. She hates us so much. You know what, Katie? I hate you too. In a love way. I mean, obviously, I like paint an entire picture of her, so I don't hate her, but like, she is a rat. She's a rat. Look at her. Love you. Mwah.
So after that brief vacation, I got right back to work, and then I was also like super hot because it's like 1,000,000 degrees outside, so I like made my shirt a crop top and stuff like that, and I'm just hanging out here. As you can see, I am in the same spot as before because I am still reading. This is a good reading chair. Okay, bye.
Wahoo! My dad just texted me and said he booked us for pedicures. Woo! Guys, don't be ashamed of getting pedicures because they're really nice. They're really relaxing and really cool. So if you're a guy, go get yourself a pedicure. Go treat yourself. But wear a mask. Wear a mask and don't talk to strangers. And that includes your own parents.
We love this sideways angle.
I'm halfway through the book, so leave me alone. Bye. Oh, that's not a time lapse.
Eehee, wasn't that so quirky? Anyways, here I am responding to texts, and for some reason whenever I respond to text on my phone, it makes the time lapse cut off fast. I don't know, my phone's really old, as you can tell by the fantastic camera quality, best on the site. Anyways, here I am drinking water because I'm a little fish, blub blub, and living my best life, honestly.
My phone just shorted out, so sorry about that. Oops. You know, they're talking about a Valentine's Day dance in the book, and I kind of want to go get cupcakes. And the thing is, I have a car. I can do that. So I'll be right back.
Wow, look at these high quality jump cuts. Look at her go, she's such a YouTuber.
Let's get this party started. And don't forget to wear a mask. Don't forget to wear a mask. She is my beautiful Charlene. She's totaled, but that's okay. That's okay. Anyways. If you think I'm gonna film myself driving in the car, you're wrong, because safety first. Yeah. It's also 1,000,000 degrees in here, so I'm gonna go. Bye.
I thought I looked cool in this shot, but apparently I was just struggling with a mask for like a solid 10 seconds.
Alright guys, I just came back from my local store, and I got one thing and one thing only, mini cupcakes. Let's do taste test time. Yes, we love getting frosting all over our hands. So here's our first product. It is the red and white vanilla mini cupcake with the blue and white star sprinkles for 4th of July, obviously. Let's do a taste test. Oh yes, it's very nice. Very nice. It's got a very abstract texture. It's got a really good flavor too. It's got a bit of like an oaky afterbirth. Alright, I am back, and I got mini cupcakes because they're superior, and honestly, that was the best $2.98 I've ever spent in my life. One second, let me break into my own home, hack the mainframe. Hey Mom, I got cupcakes.
Hi. Awesome.
And the door hit the wall,
Nice.
which is swagger, but you know, that's part of being an adult, is banging holes in walls.
I am 16 years old.
I don't know, my only role model in life has been the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, so. Speaking of, let's get back to the action. Catherine, check. Why did you look so dumb? I'm kidding, I love you, Katie. Ow. Oh, this is a video. Meant to put that on time lapse.
So I apologize for how I look in this with my hair all done up and stuff in the like crop top form, but it was so hot and my car never truly like cooled off. But yeah, I just I kept eating the cupcakes. They were in front of me, so I just kept eating them and eating them and eating them. I didn't realize how many I ate until like after I finished, and I had like 2 left, and I was really bummed. But anyways, here I am.
Well, now I'm cheesed because I just spent like another 20 minutes reading, and it was all on time lapse, and I was eating a bunch of cupcakes, but then apparently it didn't save, so that's not very swagger of you, phone. But anyways, I've eaten 4 cupcakes, which I kind of felt bad about, but then I realized that that's like 2 normal cupcakes, which is basically like 1 normal piece of cake, so I've had like 1 piece of cake, which means I should be eating more mini cupcakes, so I'm gonna go get back to doing that. Okay, remember how I said that the video didn't save? It actually did. I lied. Okay, so it is 5:54. It is just about 4 hours after I started, and I just finished the 3rd one. This one's alright. This is the one where he, like, you know, Roderick locks him out of his room and he's in his underwear, and he's fighting with his dad, and like his dad is doing like Civil War reenactments and stuff like that. They made a movie about it. He joins Boy Scouts, etc., etc. It's fine, you know, it's decent, but the next one is my favorite one, or at least this was my favorite movie. I don't really remember the book all that much, but I remember the movie. It's the Country Club one. It's the one with Peyton from Jessie. I'm really excited. So I'm about to start book 4. It's 5:40. I'm gonna be reading pretty much nonstop until 8 o'clock, which is when like we're having dinner and stuff like that for 4th of July. And I'm pretty stoked. I'll let you guys know how it goes. The author does this really cool thing where he makes Greg look like a really horrible person in just the first few pages, which I guess like sets up his character. But in this one, he's talking about how he stays inside all summer, which is literally what I'm doing right now. It's the 4th of July and I'm reading all the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books. They're strewn around my floor. But it says, I tell her I'm just trying to protect my skin so I don't look all wrinkly when I'm old like her. And that's so mean. Greg Heffley is definitely the meanest person I know. And I didn't even know him. Also, my eyes are like looking kind of cool right now, but that's besides the point.
I don't think the media has enough images of women eating cupcakes, so I decided to leave this unedited, also because I was too lazy to edit out the clip. So enjoy this.
I also like this one because The Dog Days Are Over by Florence and the Machines is like best summer song ever, so this one's points for me. I'm pretty sure this is my favorite one. I'm pretty sure this is my favorite movie, but this is my favorite book. I don't know, I haven't rewatched the movie since I was like 8, so maybe I should do that next time. Okay, this is the one with the muddy hand. And I remember being so scared of this thing as a kid. I was like, oh my gosh, it's gonna come for me next. And I guess I never realized it was from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I always thought it was just like another random thing. Because I got this one and then like What is it, Mom? Judy, what is it called? And the Not Bummer Summer?
Oh, I don't know. No, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's like Judy Moody or something. Anyways, that movie. And then these movies. I don't know. I get them all confused. They all muddle around in my head because, again, I was like 8 years old. But anyways, very scared of this hand. Very scary hand. Good talk.
Frankly's the best. When you hear about my hygiene issues, I'm starting to think maybe Frankly's a little dangerous, but luckily he doesn't leave his front yard during the summer. I think his parents must have an electrical fence or something. Rip Frankly.
Frankly honestly would be the kid that's like kept on a leash in the mall. He was insane. All his lines are so raw too. He's like, does this scab smell funny to you? Like, what does that mean? What does that mean? I'm scared. Not as scared as I would be if I saw the muddy hand. Okay, so there's this line here that pertains to my personal life because I'm starting a new YouTube series called Clara's Classics. But it says, I'm not really sure what makes a book a classic to begin with, but I think it has to be at least 50 years old and some person or animal has to die at the end. And honestly, that's kind of true. Like, spoilers ahead, by the way. Handmaid's Tale, you had Evelyn. The Road by Cormac McCarthy, you had the dad, I'm pretty sure. I haven't read that book in like a year. To Kill a Mockingbird, didn't that one guy die? Yeah, and then like, I don't remember. I haven't read these books in so long. Think of like Harry Potter, Voldemort dies. And that's all I can think of. The Hunger Games, Rue dies. But those aren't really classic. I have a book chart in the distance that I'm like referring to, but I realize that half the things on there aren't classics. But anyways, you guys get the point. I think that's a pretty fair assessment of what a classic is. But then again, like, most of those books aren't 50 years old, so I don't know. This should be a classic. This should go in the vault. This should be something that kids are required to read every year because it's pure literature and comedy. So based off the sheer amount of Civil War references, or at least, references to the Civil War that Frank Heffley makes, I think it's pretty safe to assume that being such a history buff, he's probably Republican. But you know what? The mom has made so many references to like feminism and women's rights and the way that, people portray women that she's almost certainly, she's a feminist for sure. I think she's a liberal because, think about Manny. Like, Manny's just, he's a symbol, so it's like, it's different. He's like the Mockingjay. Like, Mockingjays don't have political stances, but like, I don't know. It had to have come from somewhere. She's at least libertarian. And then Greg's just an asshole, so it doesn't count. Or an a-hole, sorry, censorship, haha. I found a pretty good quote in here, page 70. So if you want to find somebody to blame for the way that I am, I guess you'd have to start with the public education system. And if that ain't the truth, then IDK what is, son? Alright, discrepancy number like 4 or 5 or something. It says that they can't get a dog until Manny is potty trained, but it said in the last one that Manny is finally potty trained so he can go to pre-K. Excuse me, sir. Can't have plot holes in your book. Even if it's for children. Because I'm a child and I notice these things. Unacceptable.
Ugh, that's the goal, baby. That's the goal. Look at him go, strutting his stuff. What a star. We love him. We love him.
I'm on page 102 and they're talking about getting rid of this one comic strip called Precious Poochie. And this one scene is a little too timely to be comfortable, and it further confirms my belief that Jeff Kinney is actually Manny from the future. From the past. I don't really know. Let me show you.
Protesting that Precious Poochie got taken down. Poochie is precious to us. Bring back Poochie. Poochie is our pet. And no Poochie, no peace.
No justice, no peace, maybe? Jeff Kinney definitely saw this coming. This is too much of a coincidence. Too much. Too much. And that's my theory. The Manny will not be televised. This is too close for comfort. Someone call Mr. Kinney right now. Get the CIA on his case. Get the CIA. So now it's the 4th of July, and the family's spending the day at the pool. Meanwhile, I'm spending my 4th of July reading about him spending his 4th of July at the pool. It's kind of like 4th of July Inception. They just got the dog, Sweaty. Forgot about Sweaty. He's kind of an iconic character. Honestly, one of my favorites, but that's where I'm right now. See you guys later. So now Greg's at the pool and he's harassing Heather Hills, and I kind of feel bad for her. If she wasn't Peyton List, that is, because I mean, I look really stupid in this lighting. Let me retake this scene. That's better. Oh, look at my cheekbones. Oh. Anyways, I feel bad for Heather Hills because, like, Greg is like 12 years old and he's like, I'm gonna have a high school boyfriend or girlfriend. And I was like, shut up. Like, I'm in high school. If a 12-year-old talked to me, I would tell them to find their parents. I've done it before and I'll do it again.
So here's a picture of Manny showering next to grown men, right? And if he only goes up to their knees, then that means Manny's like a foot. Like, he's like a foot tall. So like, tell me, is this child okay? Like, nutritionally and physically?
That's all I'm wondering. On the topic of current events, now Greg is talking about, you know, the epidemic of participation trophies, and now Rowley's parents always tell Rowley he's doing a good job even when he's not, and how it causes more problems down the road because then the kid thinks that they're great when they're really not. And honestly, I'm pretty sure Jeff Kinney is a boomer. But then again, he says some things that really resonate, further confirming my theory that he's a time traveler. I know that's a ridiculous thing to say, but it's helping me get through these books. I'm almost done with the 4th one, and then I'm going to read one more before dinner. We can do this, guys. It's only 6:45. We can do this. I just finished book 4. Dog Days. Just finished it. I just finished it. So, that's 4:14 down. Only 10 more to go. That means we're 2/7 of the way through, and it's been 5.5 hours. So I'd say we're making pretty good progress here. Let's get one more in before dinner time. Great. Okay, I have exactly 1 hour to read this one. It is, The Ugly Truth, which I don't think I've ever read this one because I don't recognize the cover. But I have 1 hour, so that means no distractions. Gonna put it on time lapse, and I'll see you guys at 8.
I was not kidding around when I said no distractions. I sat still for a straight hour, and I finished right before my mom called me downstairs. And honestly, I didn't like The Ugly Truth. I'm going to say more about it in a second whenever I finish. But I was so bored, like, at this point. But at the same time, like the subject matter is just interesting enough to keep you entertained. But, like, I was dragging my feet here. But I did finish. That's all that matters. It took me approximately 5 minutes to find out my first distraction, but this is a pretty good one.
Apparently Greg's Uncle Gary's second wife's name was Charlene, which is the same name as my car.
Yeah, so remember how I
So
said
that's
we
a
were not going
fun
to get
fact.
distracted?
Let's go
Well,
back to the time
turns
lapse.
out we did. Anyways, here I am back at it again. I'm doing like a little crisscross applesauce position, and here I am petting my hair like I said I would earlier. I was just kind of trying to get my blood flowing, you know, doing some calisthenics while sitting down. And yeah, I don't know what else to say because I have to fill about an hour of time within a few seconds of voiceover. But yeah, so I start dancing in this one and start singing and stuff, so that's why my mouth keeps moving. I was chewing on air.
Okay, it's conspiracy theory time.
The principal eventually had to shut the school down early because no one was washing their hands and were right in the middle of flu season.
Sounds a little suspicious. Sounds like Corona to me. Shouldn't get to school early, like 2 months early. Sounds like time travel. That sounds like time travel. That's a little suspicious. I rest my case.
Anyways, this is something like my 5th glass of water today. I had so much water. If you look above my head, you can see an IKEA bucket hat, which I made myself. To the left of that, you will see our beagle stuffed animal. We used to have a pet beagle. Then she died. Anyways, here I am eating salt and vinegar chips, so...
Discrepancy number 5. Here Greg says that he's claiming this phonogram for when his grandma died, but in the last book he said he didn't know what a phonogram was. So, there you go. Okay, I just finished this one. It took me 50 minutes. It was by far the shortest and honestly kind of the most boring of all of them. There's a lot of talk about puberty. Greg goes to a wedding, you know, they talk about girls and guys, and he goes to this overnight, what is it called, lock-in at a school, and it was boring. Basically, this book was kind of unnecessary. I mean, I don't know about the other ones. I'm pretty sure that this is the last one I ever read, because the next one is Cabin Fever, and I don't think I ever read this one. It was one of those ones where I always saw it, and all the kids were talking about it at the book fair, but by then I had outgrown my Diary of a Wimpy Kid phase. So I'm excited to be getting into new territory. This one felt like I had read it before, but I couldn't know for sure. Either way, didn't really vibe with this one, but it's over now. I'm gonna go have some dinner, because dinner's in 8 minutes. So, and then after that, I'll see you guys later, again, tonight. Turns out reading 6 children's books in the span of 6 hours is not very fun, and, oh, I just tripped myself, and it's exhausting. It's exhausting, let me tell you. Don't do this. If you weren't planning on doing this before, don't do it. If you are planning on doing it now, don't do it. I'm about to go take my 5th walk of the day. I just take them at this point to clear my head because I can't stand Greg Heffley any longer. But anyways, I'll see you guys after dinner. Wish me luck.
Starting Cabin Fever, and I want to know what the heck is this thing? Look, he's here. What in the world?
Mr. Kinney, if you think I'm gonna let this slide, you've got another thing coming. This is very scary, okay? And I've already been frightened by the muddy hand. I can't take anything else more from you. I wonder if when he published these books 11 years ago, if he ever anticipated a 16-year-old attempting to read all of his books in 24 hours, because there's 15 of them. I wonder if he ever anticipated that. Maybe that was his goal. Maybe he saw this video in the future, and he was like, oh, dude, I can't wait for this time. And I'm the one that inspired his books because he's a time traveler, as we've already established. If he watches this, I'll be so honored. Anyways, we've got a book to start, so leave me alone. Also, guys, I know I look crusty. That's because I've spent 6 hours reading these books, so let it slide. Hey guys, I just woke up. Last night at dinner, my mom and I watched the live Hamilton thing, and I painted my nails. They're super cute. They're like periwinkle. And then I stayed up all night reading Cabin Fever, so I'm very tired. But it's 9:45 now, and my dad and I are gonna go get pedicures in an hour, so I'm gonna try to read at least one more during pedicures. I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish today.
but I'm gonna really power through. I promise you guys. But first, breakfast. I was just reminded at this part in Cabin Fever, basically the whole premise is there's like a blizzard and he gets snowed in and he has to stay in his house. He has to stay in his house. Sorry, my brother's getting ice from the fridge right now. Look at his face. He shows no remorse. Anyways, it's like being quarantined. Further elaborate. He just threw a piece of ice at me. Further elaborating my theory that Jeff Kinney is a time traveler. Okay, bad news, guys. It's 1:12. That means I have like 20 minutes to finish the rest of the third wheel. I think I'm not going to be able to do it, but I'm going to try my best and I'm going to time lapse it, so wish me luck. Wow, look at her go. I swear, when I walked into the pedicure place, all like the moms were watching me walk in with the Diary of a Wimpy Kid book, and they were probably judging me hardcore, but that's okay, you know. My toes are really cute. They match my shirt. They're kind of like whitish bluish. So now I feel like a basic white girl. Anyways, I am exhausted, and I don't want to do this again, but, you know, you'll hear my feedback in a second. Okay, literally this time it could not be better because it's 1:35 right now. It's 1:35, and I just finished this. Like, literally just read the last page. This one was the one about, like, the Valentine's Day dance, and, like, Greg is worried about finding a girlfriend and stuff like that. It was okay. It was pretty good. Riley got chicken pox, and then at the end he got chicken pox. He was talking about, like, his birth for a while there. I don't know. It was a quick read. I read it in about an hour, so I'm definitely not going to read another Diary of a Wimpy Kid book for a long time, because I tell you what, these books, they're all the same. They're all the same. Maybe I should watch the movies instead. So this is the 7th one. I read 7 in 24 hours. I didn't try as hard as I could have. I read the 8th one yesterday because that was the one that I found in like the library thing, the box thing. So technically I read 8 in 24 hours, which isn't a lot, but like 8 books in 24 hours, that's pretty impressive. I think I'm obviously gonna continue to read these because they're great books, but I'm definitely not gonna read another one for a few days. I need to like cleanse my palate and read like actual literature. But yeah, I might do a part 2. If you want a part 2, I guess like put it in the comments section down below, because like I'm a YouTuber now. But anyways, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed. Anyways, this is Editing Clara. I just finished editing. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was like 40 minutes long and not what I usually do, but either way, I really appreciate your audience. If you want me to finish reading them, let me know. If you don't want another 40-minute video, I completely understand. But either way, thank you guys so much, and catch you on the flip side.